I'm gonna press record now because I always forget to, as you well know. All right, so I'm gonna show this, and then while I got you there, can you read the? Can you read the board okay at all, or at least see it?
I can't really see it.
Okay.
It's like blurry.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, cause since you're like screen sharing, I can only see like the small little boxes of
Okay,
you. So
I got you. Hold on 1 minute. Better? Worse?
better. I was gonna say something.
What were you gonna say?
Um, Remember that one time when like people came into, well, some people came into the class.
Yeah.
When it was, but I think you were like, oh, why didn't you join AP Bio to Daniel?
That's what I said to
Like,
Daniel.
yeah, he was like right in front of you. He's like, I'm in your class, but he didn't
Oh,
say that. He
yeah.
like looked at you.
He's looking at me like I'm goof, like you guys always look at me. I'm doing the best I can, Rebecca.
Oh, it just came to
Oh, I
mind.
remember, because he was in the physics classroom at the time.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Oh, they did like an experiment or something. I don't know.
What's that?
I think they had to do something in the other class.
Yeah. That, and I got confused on that. All right. Thanks for sharing, Becca. I think I'm going to mute you for the rest of the day. Hey, you kicked butt on that practice AP exam.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was very impressed. Who has joined us?
Stephanie.
Stephanie, how are you, Stephanie? Okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Good to see you. Both of you guys did really well on that practice AP exam. All right, give me a minute. I'll be right with you. I think I got 2 minutes before we get started here, okay? Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hi, Denise.
Hi, Mr. Trevelyan.
Hey, you need any help with your mom or anything?
Oh no, we're okay, thank you.
All right. I feel bad for you and your mom.
Oh, she's okay. She went to go get X-rays done, so she's waiting on the results, but she's doing okay. She's taking medication for it, so.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I get too many things open here at once. So anyway, I wanted to talk. I was going to do that lab. I want to show you the new creatures we got, and then I was going to stick them in these respirometers and see. And I wanted to finish the P lab. So I don't think we'll be on here that long, unless you guys have questions. And then Monday we'll start talking respiration and photosynthesis. The concept being, you know, if we can reference some of these labs, I understand maybe you won't understand it fully, but that if you could look at some of these labs and then we can reference them later. That's the concept anyway. Can you guys see that board at all?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of. How about better?
Well, I can see.
All right, not the greatest though.
It's fine. I can read it.
Okay. Anyway, that's what we're going to talk about today. And I did press record. And in the background, I don't want to shut it off because then I'm not going to be able to find it. But I got the gadgets for the respiration and photosynthesis. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. People join us. Just speak up if something doesn't make sense or I'm screwing up again as usual. But if you look, hey, hold on 1 minute. Oh, okay, never mind. No, that is Kristen. Okay. I didn't recognize you with the mask on. How are you? Good. Hey, why don't you join us right now, and then I'll show you what's up in 1 second. Okay. You got a few minutes, right? You got this class period? Okay. Thank you for coming in. Anyway, what we're looking at today is we're quantifying respiration and photosynthesis. And, you know, again, C6H12O6 is the one thing we gotta know. We're using oxygen and we're producing carbon dioxide and water. And I think it was Denise that said something like, hey, Mr. Chowline, how am I going to remember that for the AP test, right? And tongue in cheek, but literally, you're going to take a deep breath and realize, oh, I take in oxygen. And so I give off carbon dioxide. The reactants for respiration are the opposite of photosynthesis, right? So if you know one, you know the other. I don't have to memorize both. As long as I know I'm taking in glucose and oxygen, I'm okay. Does that make sense? Now, what can we measure? How can we quantify this? Well, we could look at the disappearance of glucose. We can look at the appearance of carbon dioxide, maybe of water, or the disappearance of oxygen. And the opposite is true for photosynthesis. Now, a long time ago, we did those ecology bottles. Anybody still got their ecology bottles working? Still growing? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
And we said, hey, how are we going to measure productivity? Well, productivity is the same as photosynthesis, right? If we look at that equation for photosynthesis, we could measure the amount of glucose or the amount of oxygen. The only problem with this apparatus right here, I'm going to shine it down on this. This is measuring carbon dioxide and water. But the only problem with using this to measure it is that we can't get them wet. But if they asked you that on the test, you could quantify your data in such a manner, right? You could say, look, I'm going to count the amount of oxygen produced or the amount of the amount of glucose produced. That would not only work for the photosynthesis lab, but that would work for the productivity lab. What do you think? Does that make sense?
Mm.
All we're using is oxygen and carbon dioxide sensors. What do you think? Make sense?
Mhm.
Now, I wanted to show you what they expected us to do in this lab. They wanted us to look at these peas. I don't know how well you can see these peas. Maybe if I do this. All right, they got roots on them. They're growing. These are germinating peas. These, on the other hand, are non-germinating peas. Right? They just came out of the bag. So you got one that's growing and one that's not. People always ask me every year, what does germinating mean? It means they're growing. And then I stuck one over here in the fridge, sitting in the ice water. They're germinating, but look at what I did, right? I stuck them in cold water, and I should slow down the enzyme activity, right? And my question to you is, could you design an experiment to show that? Could I stick, for example, this carbon dioxide detector inside here, right? Let it run on this machine and tell me how much carbon dioxide is being produced. Now, somebody's going to say, well, wait a minute, Mr. T, those are plants. They're not producing carbon dioxide. They should be producing oxygen. Remember that plants do respiration. Plants have mitochondria. Perla, you on screen by chance?
I'm here.
Yeah. Remember we were talking about that the other day? And that you got to remember that plants do respiration. They're going to suck in oxygen and they're going to give off carbon dioxide. So this in real time should be showing us, if I put the right sensor in there, yeah, carbon dioxide is going up. Can you guys see the graph at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Carbon dioxide is going up because plants do respiration. Plants have mitochondria. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they make us use pea plants? They made us use pea plants because,
They worship Mandel.
I'm sorry?
No, I said like the College Board worships Mandel.
Yeah, maybe. They are the same pea plants. No, I don't think so. I think they picked pea plants to make sure you realize that plants do respiration. I will eat my hat if somewhere on the AP exam, thank you, Daniel, for that comment, somewhere on that test, if they don't try to talk you into thinking that plants don't do respiration, right? Plants do respiration. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm trying to get fancy here. Now I got two views. All right. Everybody okay with that? And what organelle do you need to know that does respiration? What organelle do we know that makes ATPs?
The mitochondria.
The mitochondria. So plants and animal cells have both mitochondria. All right, we should see that carbon dioxide go up. And if we wanted to get fancy, we could put the carbon dioxide level in there. All right, good enough, right? We'll start a new experiment. So today, I want to show you the difference. And this, by the way, is not a sacred lab, right? You guys get what I mean by that? It's not a required lab, but I thought it would be cool. I thought it was going to be so cool that I decided to go out and get two new animals. So today, what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about the difference. Can you see on the bottom of the whiteboard there? The difference between ectothermic and endothermic organisms. What's that? I got a mouse. So the mouse is going to be our endothermic organism. His name is Chocolate, and I'll bring him out in a minute. And the gecko lizard over there is going to be the ectothermic organism. Now, Daniel, you already knew this, but let's have somebody else guess. What do you think is going to happen if I put a cold-blooded is ectothermic, and I mixed it in with I put him in the respirometer chamber? What's going to happen with a cold-blooded animal? More respiration or less respiration? And if you can get somewhat close to me without getting nervous about that, I'm going to have you help me with this. Is that okay? So you can come on up when you're ready. What do you think about the cold-blooded animal, the gecko? Anybody?
What?
Sorry, I didn't hear whoever said that. What was the answer? So this is Max, and he's a gecko lizard, and he's ectothermic, right? Which means whatever the temperature is, he's going to be. Now, if I kill this guy, my neighbor is going to have a fit. I borrowed him from her. But he is an ectothermic organism. He is very mellow. Would you like to hold him?
No.
No? Okay. Kristen doesn't want to hold him. And we're going to put him in the chamber here. So if you could hold this chamber for me. Yeah, this is a little top heavy. Thank you. And we're going to stick him in. I heard somebody, but I didn't hear the answer. What's going to happen to him inside this chamber? Is he going to take in more oxygen or less oxygen than my warm-blooded animal? Thank you. Anybody? Well, I guess we'll find out, right? So the shorter tube, you got to guess?
No.
Shorter tube is the oxygen detector. This is the carbon dioxide detector, the bigger one. He's not being hurt inside there, right? But do you think he's going to take in more oxygen or less than the mouse? Let's see. And Daniel, I cannot figure out how to change the units on the oxygen. It just says %.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we can use one or the other, I guess. We're looking at about 19% oxygen and about 499, 500. All right, that's going up. Down here, we can zoom in on this data to see. I like the chart here on this. And yeah, we're seeing the carbon dioxide level going up pretty decently there, right? Guys can see that okay?
Mm-hmm.
And if I could ask somebody, please, actually, yeah, grab a marker out of there and write it on the board. Let's just see what we get this to go up to, and then we'll give a comparison to the mouse, huh? And I think what I'm going to do for a very, very short period of time is I'm going to stick them in some cool water. Can you lift that up? So at room temperature, we're getting 560 and still increasing, right? He's giving off carbon dioxide. He's sucking in oxygen, right? Now I got him in this cold water. We should see his metabolism go down, correct? We should see less carbon dioxide being produced. He doesn't look very happy about it. Still going up, but are we going up at a slower rate? And it would appear to be, right? His metabolism is slowing down for an ectothermic organism. Hey, what are you, Rebecca? Are you ectothermic or are you endothermic?
Me?
Yeah.
Endothermic, right?
You are endothermic, right? So we're going to stick you in the ice water. He looks miserable. I'm going to take him out. So we got about 597 parts per million, okay? I don't want to make them too cold. You want to write that on the board somewhere? 599 parts per million we're just going to go with. Now the mouse, I think we can leave in there a lot longer. Oh, I'm sorry, big boy.
Dang, it looks like the oxygen went down by a lot.
Yeah. And that all makes sense, right? He's going to stop. He's going to stop metabolism completely, right? If I don't keep him in his hot light, oh, is he mad at me? I'm sorry, big boy. But the mouse now, we're going to see better results. By the way, I called Mr. Denny just to rub it in. He is so mad we got this equipment. He is not happy. I told him, I said, if he's nice to me, I might let him borrow it after the bio bowl. So anyway, that was pretty cool or no? I bought 2 different animals. You should say, oh, that was cool, Mr. T. I was so excited to try this. All right, so we get the respiration. I'm going to get rid of these things, right? You get the idea of non-germinating, germinating, yeah? And then the ones in the cold. In the cold, the enzymes work less. Agreed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's do the mouse next. The mouse, by the way, is named Chocolate. Oh, I wanted to show you this too. Rebecca, did you get good results with your fermentation? I'll get you guys this.
No.
No, nothing like this?
No. It's probably because I didn't add that much sugar.
Well, you didn't add, well, add some more sugar, see what happens.
Okay.
Now, we are assuming the yeast, this was a cheap version, right? Not everybody's got these fancy tools like we got. This would be a cheap version, a way to measure respiration, right? We could easily quantify how big the balloon got, right? Okay, let's move on to our next friend. I need you to hold this top again, and then we'll wash our hands off and everything. I don't want to be too close to you, you know. But here's that, if you don't mind. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but Kristen is now my new favorite student. She's here today. You guys are going to beat her up later, right? And this is Mr. Chocolate. Whoop. And he is very endothermic. Does not want to be held. Whoop, 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 whoop. Got him. I got him. I still got him.
He's running away.
He's not running away. He's very excited, though. Okay, big boy. In you go. All right. So can you see chocolate? Let me show him real quick.
Mhm.
Isn't he pretty?
He's mad. Okay?
He is.
He's mad.
He is a little mad. Not as mad as you guys. That Kristen's my favorite student. All right, what number did we have? 599. So let's put him in just room temperature. Okay. I'll reset that. Is this guy endothermic or ectothermic?
Endo.
Endothermic, right? So now he is sucking up oxygen and he's using that to generate his heat. Right?
Mhm.
Every day we pay the price to stay at 98.6. By the way, did you take your temperature when you came in? You did, okay. We pay the price of 98.6, and that price we pay is we have to eat continuously, right? Otherwise, we can't generate that heat. So let's see what he looks like at room temperature here now. I thought I pressed new experiment. Your teacher knew what he was doing, he'd be dangerous. All right, we're starting over apparently, sorry. So there's our carbon dioxide on top, oxygen on the bottom, ready, set, go. And we'll zoom in on the action. We'll get some meters up here. Thank you for coming, by the way. I like the meter one. Holy moly! 1,400, right? Compared to 599. Endothermic organisms producing a lot more carbon dioxide. Oxygen level seems about the same, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the other thing endothermic organisms do. They go to the bathroom a lot as well. Would you please, so we don't forget? All right, let me know when we're happy with this, then we're going to stick them in the cold. What do you predict in the cold? Perla, what do you think? What's those little mitochondria going to do in the cold?
Gonna slow down.
Going to slow down? Okay.
Yeah.
Like the lizard did.
Yeah.
How about you? If I stuck you in a cold environment, does your temperature go down?
No. Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah. I guess it depends. If I stuck you in frozen, a frozen lake, yeah, your temperature will go down. But on a day like today, when I went out and walked the dog this morning, I stayed at 98.6. You know what I mean? So I think when we stick him in that cold water, again, I don't think he's going to be happy. But I think what he's going to do is we're going to see a large amount of carbon dioxide produced and a lot of oxygen consumed. He's trying to stay at whatever body temperature mice stay at. I don't know what their body temperature is. But let's picture Perla in the little container here, right? Perla, we're going to put you in the ice water now, okay?
Okay.
And by the way, what would you first do? What physiologically would you do in that ice water? Do you know that? What would be the first thing you did if I stuck you in really cold water? Besides sue me. Yeah, you'd shiver, right? You'd shake. When you shake your muscles, you generate heat. Now, another interesting thing is that some animals, thank you. Well, I got the right person for the job. Why can't you guys be more like Kristen here? Comes on the day off. But a lot of these animals, like baby humans, will produce brown fat. Brown fat only makes heat. It doesn't make ATPs. It's a very interesting apparatus there. Okay, mouse looks cold. I think he is shaking a little bit. He's not happy, right? Can you guys see him at all?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know how to make it better here. All right, what do we got? Parts per million. Carbon dioxide is 3,000. Okay, that would conclude that, yeah, he's generating a lot more heat. Oxygen has gone down to 18%. Aren't you glad I bought a mouse and a lizard yesterday? My wife just rolls her eyes at me. I said, I got to go get a mouse. Look at that. That's nice data, no?
Man, that oxygen went down quick.
That's beautiful. Everybody pretend like they like it now.
Mr. Trevelyan, I have a question.
Yes, please.
How is it that I guess you can say that there's less oxygen than carbon dioxide, but like don't we like breathe in oxygen to breathe out carbon dioxide? So
That is
how is that?
This is an enclosed, do you agree that this is an enclosed container, right?
Yeah.
It's trapped in there, so there's only so much oxygen. And right now he's using it all up. It went from like 20% and now it's at 18%. He's taking it into his cells.
So at some point he's gonna run out of oxygen.
Yeah, I got to get him out of that container. That is true. And more importantly, he is also producing carbon dioxide, which is building up in that container.
Hey, you mean?
That's going to be really bad, right? I didn't hear that last comment. Who said that?
No, I was talking to my mom. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So when Perla's in this little container, we got to let her out soon, right? Because she's going to run out of oxygen.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah, I won't be in there. And I'm recording this video too, which is bad. But I'm loving this data. Right? The mouse is not so happy about it. All right, I'm going to stop here. And I want everybody to think of a question to ask me while I'm going to try to save this. What do we got? Tell me what's going on. Explain it. And I just got done telling Mr. Denny, he's making his students do all the videos for the labs. They're not in school at all. And he says, you know what? I make them struggle until they figure it out. I'm too nice for that. But it is how you learn, right? I didn't learn my biology listening to it. I learned my biology by talking the talk, right? So ask me a question. Tell me what you don't get here, please. Dead silence.
Mr. T.
Yeah.
What was like the final analysis for endothermic animals that like cold water slows down metabolism or
Yeah, so if I'm an ectothermic organism, I'm cold-blooded. That means you really should use the word ectothermic. Cold-blooded is a misnomer. But the idea is they will turn to whatever the environment is. The environmental temperature is what their temperature will become. Speaking of which, let me go put the hot light back on him. Hey. Oh, look, he changed colors and everything. He is not a happy little.
He did?
Yeah, look at it. His tail got all black. Check him out. All right, mouse still okay. Give me another question. Everybody ask one. Kristen, your turn. Ask me a question. Rebecca, you usually got some smart comment. Give me a comment. That all makes sense? I'll go back to the board here.
Whoa.
Next week, when we get into this, right, you guys gotta talk the talk. And by the way, we kicked butt on that practice AP exam, and I'm really happy about that. But this chapter will annihilate you if you don't participate. You gotta ask me stuff, okay? All that stuff on the board makes sense. We're not going to go much further, by the way, today. I'll probably end a little bit early, but if you can't give me those equations on Monday, if you can't, have an idea of what you're taking in and what you're giving off, we're going to have troubles.
Wait, so both endothermic and the cold-blooded ectothermic change their blood, change the temperature,
Yes. So if I'm ectothermic, like the lizard, whatever the environment temperature is, that's his temperature.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So snake, Mr. Call Snake over there, he's got to have a heat pad because at night this room gets really cold. Whatever the room temperature is, he gets that cold. I used to have this iguana, and I don't recommend those as pets, but he'd roam the room. He didn't have a cage. He just wandered around my room. Every morning when it was cold, I'd wake up and he'd be sitting on my chest looking at me on my, right? It wasn't that he liked me. He needed warmth, right? He could not generate enough heat. One of the byproducts of cellular respiration is heat. Remember, that's that thermodynamic law. And the other byproduct is carbon dioxide. Why do we do respiration? What didn't I put on this equation? 3 letters, Native American home.
Oh.
I didn't hear you. ATP. ATP. Get it? ATP? ATP? It's a bad joke. I'm sorry. Right? Respiration makes ATP. What does photosynthesis make? Well, photosynthesis makes glucose as well as ATP. We'll get to details on that later. Now, good experimental design. I did mass out the animals ahead of time. I was really, really hoping that the gecko and the mouse were going to weigh exactly the same. Technically, we should take that into account, huh? The gecko being 50 grams and the mouse being 30 grams, you know, obviously is going to need more oxygen, more energy. Agreed?
Yeah. So, Mr. T?
Yes, sir.
Just a little clarification. Ectothermic organisms, they slow down their metabolism and therefore slow down their rate of respiration in cold water, whereas endothermics doesn't really affect it that much.
Yeah, I would say in the most cases, the endothermic respiration is going to actually increase to try to maintain its body temperature.
Oh, okay.
Now, there's extreme examples. They say, for example, if you are, let me put him away and then we can put that on. If you are going to try to, somebody's drowning in a river, falls through the ice, they say even if you can go like 45 minutes, you should still try to resuscitate that person. In that case, their metabolism shuts down completely. But when they first fall through that ice, oh, they're going to be cranking out heat like crazy, right? They're going to be consuming all the oxygen, all the glucose to try to maintain that body temperature. So, you know, as somebody pointed out, it depends, right? It's a degree. Yeah, too long in the cold, they're going to stop making ATPs. Let me put the mouse back. I'll be right back. Thank you, buddy. All right, here you go, big boy. Come on. There you go. All right. All right, and he's got his heater on. Okay. Yeah, that lizard belongs to my 16-year-old neighbor, and if I killed him, she would be very angry. So I didn't want to leave him in the cold water too much. Is that kind of cool or no? Thank you. My favorite student says, yes, that was very cool. What about the rest of you guys?
Yeah.
Mr. T,
Yes,
I kind of have a question.
please.
So, it's kind of like off topic, but like basically, do you think ectothermic like organisms are more efficient?
It's a matter of what you want to spend your energy on, right? So it's two different energy strategies.
Mm-hmm.
I can only tell you this, and maybe it's prejudice because I happen to be endothermic, is that I can live a lot more places than an ectothermic organism can, right? We don't see a lot of reptiles here in Illinois because of that fact. It gets really cold. We got some, right? On the other hand, if I'm endothermic, then I can live wherever I want.
All right.
I guess it also has.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I said I guess it also has to do with like you said, how you want to spend energy, because
Exactly.
it kind of reminded me of sloths, because like I'm pretty sure sloths eat like this one kind of plant that doesn't have that much, that doesn't give them many calories and energy, which is why they're slow.
Yep.
I think that could be the same thing for ectothermics, where most lizards live around desert areas, which don't really have that many, animals walking around, which means probably less food and therefore less energy. So they don't want to spend that much energy on generating.
It's just a different way of looking at things, right? We talked a little bit about R-selected and K-selected species when we did ecology, right? R-selected spend all their energy on making babies, case selected like us spend all their time taking care of the babies.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, this was really good. And I got a mouse now. All right. And a mad wife at me. But that's besides the point. It's like, you're going to buy a what? All right, I got to tell you one more thing, and then I'm going to call it quits. And I got to help Kristen. I want to go through that. Hey, the rest of you guys, if you want to go through those questions, I realize they didn't go for some reason they didn't give you the answers. But I do want to go through those at some point. And so maybe next week or something. Or how did I do it with you? Perla, I copied and pasted them for you, right?
Yeah, but they were kind of like
Yeah, they
messed
were
up.
messed up.
They were
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Anyway, we can do them, or we just did FaceTime if you want to do it that way. But hey, we're in good shape. We really are with those test questions. And somebody said, well, it's just the labs we did. I said, that's why we do the labs, right? That's the whole point. The sacred labs are going to be on the test. Whether there's a pandemic or not. The big controversy, the big argument right now with the AP people and the colleges say, look, I don't care if there's a pandemic, they still have to do the labs. So that's why I'm doing all these movies and blah, blah, blah. They're not going to go easy on the test, in other words. Probably more than you need to know. We're going to be fine, right? We are a quarter done, right, after today, and we are well above a quarter of the material done, right? We're on chapter 9. We are now on the 14th chapter, and we just completed the last next two sacred labs. So we're doing okay. It wasn't pretty, but we did it. The last thing I wanted to show you, I can get my big head out of the way here, is this. Some of you guys saw this yesterday, and some of you did not, is the stomata. These stomata, guys, are the little holes in the leaves. Can you see it up there? Those little holes in the leaves, if you looked at them under the microscope, Rebecca sent me a picture. I'll try to send it to you. And those little holes in the leaves are where the carbon dioxide go in and the water go out. For gifted student of the day, and the last question of the day, what else comes out of those stomata? What's being pulled out those holes all the way from the roots? What else is coming out of those holes besides oxygen? Think about a plant now. What's going in through the roots and coming out of those leaves?
Nitrogen?
Nitrogen, yeah, that's true. It doesn't get evaporated out the holes, though.
Water?
Water. Who said that?
Perla?
Perla, new favorite student. Sorry, Kristen. You'll have to turn your crown in. Perla got it right. Water's coming out those stomata, right? Remember, adhesion and cohesion are pulling them out those stomata. And so even a tree that's 400 feet tall, redwood out in California, they're still getting water up their leaves, and it's being pulled out those little holes. Believe it or not, a tree around here loses 60 gallons of water a day on a hot day. Those trees we planted out there, they're losing water like crazy out these little microscopic holes. And at the same time,
transpiration.
it's called, oh, man, yes. How'd you know that? That was awesome.
Experience.
Very good. Very good. Well done, sir. Yeah. I'll give you king of the day. Perla gets quit. Sorry, I didn't hear the last question.
No, like I was just asking what he said.
Oh, he said it was called transpiration, the water moving out the stomata. That's later on, though. These are all going to get connected, right? Now, my last thing, and I'm going to call it quits. And you guys, man, you made me very happy today. I'm so glad I bought a mouse and came to school today. And I want to work on these questions with you if you can. The last question for you is 12 years of school down the drain because we don't know what we do with this oxygen. I know you breathe it in, but what's the point of it? This chapter, we're going to find out. What's the point of taking in oxygen? How does it help us make ATPs? Don't answer that yet, but just think about it. All right, Monday, it's going to be hard, right? We start respiration, photosynthesis. By the way, pick up a copy of the notes. Daniel, you just copy the notes and type right on them, but whatever, you're going to probably want to have a copy of those notes. If you need me to, I can even deliver them to your house. but I'd have something in front of you so you can write things down. And I'm not trying to scare you. We're in good shape. I'm just saying this chapter, most people struggle through. Okay. Bye, Ms. T. Have a good weekend.
Wait, Mr. T.
Yes, sir.
We're all good with me coming after school.
Oh, you're coming today after school?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't understand that. All right, let's, can you call me after this?
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I screwed up then, buddy. I thought you were coming in this morning.
Okay.
No worries. Just call me. We'll work something out.
All right.
Okay. Just, yeah, give me, what do I got? No, just come on in. We'll work it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to check your temperature at the door. So you're coming like it right after 7th?
No, like at around when my last class ends. So like
Oh, 8th. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And you wanted to just look at the lab stuff?
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
Sure, no worries. I just didn't know that.
All right.
I was confused. All right, bye, guys.
Mr. Trevelyan, I have a question.
Yes.
So just to like see if I understood to something, or if you put both the cold-blooded and the warm-blooded, if they were the same mass, the same temperature,
Yes.
and then you put them in like you test for their 2 levels of oxygen and carbon dioxide, would they be equal, or would they be like would they kind of have the same intake and release, I
So
guess?
I would assume that endothermic organism like you would be sucking in a lot more oxygen than that lizard.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, that lizard, it's nice for him because he doesn't have to eat every day. If he catches a cricket, great, but he can go a week without eating. You try that as an endothermic organism. You're taking in food every day and you're sucking in oxygen like crazy to keep your body temperature.
And that's because our metabolism works faster?
It works faster so that we can keep our heat up. And we pay the price of eating every day because of that, right? We have to keep putting fuel in the furnace.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Bye, guys. Great job today.